Let's do a psychology experiment. Let's show our audience a scene consisting of 8 shots, and the story it tells is suspicious but a little ambiguous and open to interpretation. A girl's in her apartment when a guy walks suspiciously past her window. She goes outside to check it out. After the video, we ask our audience a couple open-ended questions and see what they think about it. How did it make them feel? Did they like it? Did they not like it? Stuff like that. Now let's show that same video to a different audience, but change one thing. Mirror every shot. So now any movement left to right becomes right to left. The question is, does this edit change anything? Does character direction affect how the audience perceives the character or the entire scene as a whole? The answer is yes, and a lot more than you think. But why does it matter which way he went? To understand why direction change is so important, we have to talk about the 3 axes of movement. There are 3 directions on screen a character can move: right and left, up and down, and forward and backward. The direction a character moves matters in a scene. Moving towards the camera shows power, domination, and aggression, and moving away shows weakness. Similarly, characters being looked down on appear weak, and high up characters are much more dominant.
Now my evil power will be unlimited! Can you feel me?
I can feel you.
Woo!
These 2 explanations make sense. Of course, someone low and far away from the camera will be perceived differently from someone high up and close. But the final character movement, lateral movement, going from right to left, is a lot less obvious. What makes one side of the screen different from the other? Why does movement right to left matter? The answer comes from time and language. In Western culture, left to right indicates the progression of time. Our language reads from left to right. Books begin from the left and finish once we get to the right. In video games, players start on the left side and finish the level on the right. On any line graph, time increases as we move right. In our everyday life, movement towards the right indicates time, progress, and normality. And movement towards the left indicates moving back in time, abnormality, and regression. From this thinking came the theory amongst film scholars that people will interpret left to right movement as more natural and normal than right to left movement, because of how our brains naturally process moving images. And this idea of time and normality in left to right movement gets applied in a variety of films. For example, Lord of the Rings maintains its left to right movement during the journey from the Shire to Mount Doom. Left-right movement is maintained during the big travel shots, and it's a subtle visual to indicate the clear goal to reach a specific destination. Compare that clear objective to the last scene in Full Metal Jacket. It consists of 2 shots, one shot of soldiers moving left to right past burning buildings, and another shot of them moving right to left, with burning buildings still in the background. The abrupt lateral direction change makes it look as if they randomly switch directions, and it gives the implication that the soldiers are wandering aimlessly. Stanley Kubrick uses lateral direction change to make some commentary about the Army's unclear objectives, and perhaps commentary on the Vietnam War as a whole. Lateral character movement can also tell a story. In one scene in Full Metal Jacket, soldiers move to the right towards some combat zone off-screen, and wounded soldiers get carried away from the combat zone, moving from the right side to the left. There's a subtle visual reinforcement here that where the soldiers headed off-screen is where men get brought back wounded. This lateral technique is similarly done subtly in Platoon and Saving Private Ryan.
Wade!
Yes, sir.
See what you can do.
Yes, sir.
So left to right is observed as positive, progressive, and normal, or at least that's what many film theorists assumed. It's only in the last 5 years or so that researchers started empirically testing lateral movement. In 2012, Cleveland State University conducted an experiment by showing a sequence of 8 shots to a group of people. They showed the exact same shots to another group of people, but reversed all left to right movement to right to left movement. Each group answered several specific questions and several open-ended ones about how they felt after watching. The results confirmed what many film theorists had assumed, but had never had any hard evidence to prove. The experimenters analyzed open-ended questions for key words. For example, 24.8% of responders used anxious, nervous, uneasy, suspenseful to describe the video, and 11.9% said fearful, frightened, or scared. The most statistically significant difference between the 2 groups was what the experimenters called the negative effect. Similar phrases, including didn't like the clip, liked the clip, good, bad, interesting, boring, and strong and weak, were the phrases that differed the most between the 2 videos. So for the left to right video, members consistently used words like good, interesting, and strong, while the ones who saw right to left used words like bad, boring, and weak. Audiences perceived left to right movement positively and right to left movement negatively. This study provides a huge opportunity for filmmakers. By something as simple as switching character movement, a director can instill a negative or positive emotional response on the audience. But it seems some directors have already caught on to this difference in left to right and right to left, going as far back as Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock's Stranger on a Train opens with the protagonist and antagonist, showing only their feet and legs walking. They walk towards each other, as if to imply their paths will eventually cross. If our study is true and left to right movement is perceived as more positive than right to left, then this opening scene has already subconsciously established that the right to left character is an antagonist and the left to right character is a protagonist. So not only can left to right indicate a progression of time, it can even indicate something positive or negative. Roger Ebert fully supported the idea himself, as he explains in his 2008 article How to Read a Movie. Roger Ebert goes further to say even the left and right sides of the screen are perceived as either more positive or more negative. A character on the right feels more positive and in control, while the one on the left seems weaker, perhaps more sinister. This is a common recurring theme. Right good, left bad, and various filmmakers use this technique.
Master's my friend. You don't have any friends.
Oh, come off it.
You come off it.
You.
Infinity.
Ah.
Ebert makes the claim that these conventions of right and left extend beyond our language and culture. He says that in all his years of watching movies, Asian cinema uses similar left versus right techniques, and the study supported this belief. Religious belief, right or left-handedness, and race all did not significantly affect the audience's perception of lateral movement. Of course, there are no absolutes in filmmaking, and sometimes what's contrary to the rule works just as well. But either way, this study shows that there really is a difference between left and right in film. It's only so recently that any empirical testing on film techniques has actually been conducted. Roger Ebert claims, while convincing, were only speculation at the time, but have now been proven to an extent. I contacted Cleveland State University, the ones who published this study, and they're still currently conducting experiments testing film theories on audience members. It's really exciting to see that even after 100 years, we're still learning new things about filmmaking to this day. What was once speculation has now been followed up with concrete evidence. So the next time a character crosses the screen, ask yourself,
Where did he go? Which way did he go? I don't know. He took the clothes and went up that way. Come on.
Thanks for watching. I wanted to clarify, the video experiment that I show isn't the original video experiment. The original one hasn't been published yet. It hasn't been posted. Although they published the article, they haven't posted the video that they used. So I just took what they talked about in the article and I recreated it. I encourage you guys to look at the original article. It's amazing. It goes very in-depth, talks about things I didn't talk about. I'll link it in the description. Also, I talk about film theorists in the video, and I don't refer to specific names, but really I'm referring to Kuleshov. He's the man. He's been doing all this film theory stuff. In the 70s, he was coming up with this three axes of movement theory and how people interpret movement in film, and so I encourage you to look him up. I'm going to add some of his writing in the description as well. Thanks, guys.